Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Kemi. I'm a Nigerian who few months back, more than a year back, immigrated to Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Okay, so I talk about lifestyle in Canada. Sometimes I record videos about my lifestyle. I talk about some tips. I share some tips on how to, especially for newcomers or even non-newcomers, how to settle, get some access to some information, hassle free, just things that makes your life easy generally. Okay, because one thing I've come to understand here in Canada is that the person who has knowledge is the one that is going to go far. That is in Yoruba, like we always say, any tomo way. I'm gonna
Hey!
oh goodness. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys some of the things that I have come to enjoy in the Canadian workplace. Okay, so in my last video, in my last vlog, I was talking about when I was showing you guys downtown Winnipeg. If you've not seen that video, I'm going to link that video up here. Okay, I was telling you guys about how sometime in the future I'm going to record a video about how I've come to enjoy the Canadian workplace and the difference between the Canadian and the Nigerian workplace. So this is me fulfilling that promise. Without further ado, let's jump right into the video of today. Okay,
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you want to be. Step 4, everybody just do you.
Okay, now welcome back guys. So just to give you some sort of introduction or into what I do, firstly, before I left Nigeria to come into Canada, I was working as a program manager. I was a program manager in a non-governmental organization, and coming here also recently, about 5 months back, I got a job as a research associate also at a governmental organization. So even though the titles are different, what I was doing in Nigeria was basically the same thing I'm doing now. Okay, although with some just little exceptions, but the point is that the job description are typically the same. Okay, so that's also to tell you that sometimes when you're doing something in your country, in your home country, it might become called a different name here, so you're allowed to do your due diligence in being sure, especially when it comes to selection of NOC. Now I'm digressing. Back to the matter of the day. Okay, so now let's compare Nigerian and Canadian workplace. Now please let me also give a disclaimer. This is my opinion. Okay, don't come for me about that. This is my opinion. This is what I think. This is what I've experienced. Okay, all right, so let's get into that. Now the first thing I wanted to talk about Canadian workplace, which I kind of value, which is also different from Nigeria, is the fact that you need more than your professional skills, or you need more than the skills that you have to succeed. What do I mean by that? It's not about you being a guru when it comes to IT service, or when it comes to coding, or when it comes to writing grants, or you know what I mean. It's not just about your academic skills. It is also about some other skills, some soft skills, some daily skills, some day-to-day skills. Now what do I mean by that? Even when they are doing your job interview, they're going to be asking you some questions. Some of those skills you said you have, they want you to put it into scenarios. They want to see how you're able to solve problems, right? They ask you, okay, let's assume, imagine, tell us about a time. So you're not just saying, oh, I have these skills. You're also showing that you can really put those skills into action. Okay, so that's one thing I like. It also helps you to garner more skills on your job. So you are someone who, for example, is an IT person. Apart from being an IT person, you also learn some other things on the job. I think I love that about the Canadian workplace. For example, even for me, getting my job as being that what I do, right? I was at the time given a task to create something graphic, right? I was given a task sometime to create some graphic works. Thank God for my experience as a content creator, editing videos, editing thumbnails and all that. I was able to put that into action. I hope you guys get my point now. So the second thing I want to talk about is everyone's opinion counts. I love this one. I remember back in Nigeria, or even not particularly happening to me, right? I think everybody can relate to this, that when your boss is talking, when the CEO is talking, when the director is talking, you're like, even if you know that what they are saying does not make sense, you are shaking your head and say, yes sir, I agree sir, I concur sir, yes ma, and all that. But here your silence is termed as something else. So whenever there's a conversation, you're having a group meeting, you're having a team meeting, and they ask for your opinion, you're not to say, oh no, I don't have anything to say. Oh no, yes, what you said is correct. No, even if you're going to repeat the same thing, you still have to talk, okay? That means everyone's opinion matters, everyone's opinion counts. If you're in a meeting, if you're in a group, you are discussing something, you have to give an opinion, you have to say something. You don't just keep quiet. It also shows that you're not just there, you're not a figurehead, you're adding something to something of value to the organization, which is one thing I love here. Everyone's opinion counts. Even if you are saying rubbish, they will look at it from another point of view, like, oh, that makes sense, you know. So don't keep quiet. That's one thing I like. Everyone is allowed to speak, everyone is allowed to talk, everyone is allowed to express their opinion. Which brings me to the third point about how respect is displayed, right? Thank you so much. I was gonna say here, you know, back in Nigeria, you refer to your bosses as doctor, as chief, professor, sir, minister, the honorable. There's nothing like that here. Even the CEO, the director, and everyone is referred to as their first name. I so much love that, you know. It also brings everybody on the same scale, even though you know in your head that that person is my CEO, that person is my boss. But you know, it kind of gives you this open door. They have this thing called open door policy, where you can walk into your CEO's office, you can ask questions, you can relate your opinion, you can say, oh, I think this would be a good idea. That even makes them to value you more, okay? So I kind of like that about the Canadian workplace. I like the fact that you have direct access to your bosses. I think I remember a video of I think it's a prime minister or someone of that high level, you know, walking on the streets, and then he was just there and people were passing by. Someone even almost, you know, hit him on the shoulder. I was like, yes, I like this, okay? So that's kind of what happens even in the workplace. If your boss is talking, I'm sorry guys, I'm just gonna give this example also of my husband talking about in his former workplace, the boss, as in the owner of the organization, was talking, and someone was like, no, what you're saying is wrong. You know, you can even argue with your boss. You can tell your boss, no, what you're saying is wrong. I like that one. I don't have that. I can't do that though. I'm just saying that it just gives you that freedom. It doesn't, you're not, you know, it's not like you're leaving home and you're so scared that, oh, my boss. You know, like some bosses back in Nigeria. I'm saying Nigeria again because that's what I relate with. That's where I've been before, where some bosses are just so high up and then you can't access them, you can't even go into their office is off bounds to you and all of that. That is not the case here, and I love it, okay? So the next one I wanted to talk about here is that in the workplace, what matters more? I think it's kind of like the first point, but it's a bit different. What matters more is your skills and not your qualifications. Whether you have 3 PhD and 5 masters, or you've been, you know, you are 50 years old, age, qualifications does not matter. What matters is what you're able to deliver, your skills, what you're able to do. And I think I love that about this place. You know, back in Nigeria, they will say, what's your degree, what class, are you a first class or a second class or a third class, do you have a PhD, do you have, no, all of that doesn't really matter here. What matters is that you're able to deliver on the task you're given. You have something up there, okay? And I think I love that about the Canadian workplace, okay? The next thing I wanted to talk about is I like this one, is the frivolities, the extra work activity, like everything you just, which, like, even my first day on my job, I was told that we were going for a team lunch. I was like, team lunch. At first, I was scared that because of all the things I've heard about, maybe when people invite you out to lunch, you're going to be the one to pay. I'm like, please, though, I don't want to go to lunch and then tell me to come and pay. But that wasn't the case. This was just like a sort of avenue for team bonding, team activity, getting to know your team members and all of that. So I think I kind of like that. Also, offices here, most offices, I cannot really tell of myself and some of the people I've spoken to, they have like coffee stations, they have snack stations, they have things like that. Just makes you like, you know, just makes things, if you're someone who likes food, who likes eating something, you know, it just makes you feel like, okay. And also there are team activities, like due to my work, I went to watch, like I never would have done that if not because of work, right? We were all invited to watch a live game, right? So these are some of those things that happen. They're also trying to build team bonding, helping your work, just helping you to work comfortably, more comfortably, and all of that. Okay. Another thing I like here is the how they put into perspective the overall mental health and physical health of the employees, just overall health of the employees. There are stand-up desks. Well, I can tell about my own organization, which is what I'm comparing, which is what I like, and I believe most organizations here are also there's probably like a something, especially if it's an organization, not like factory or warehouses, you know, those situations are different, or stores or retail stores, you know, those situations are different. I mean organizations now, white collar jobs, maybe that's what to put it, right? They put things in place to make sure that both the physical, mental, emotional health of the staff is met, right? We have their most people at their offices have mental health benefits, where if you need to speak to someone, you can speak to someone. You have stand-up desk. I have stand-up desk so that if I'm tired of sitting for a long time, I get to stand and stretch my body and move around. Some offices have gym in them. Some offices have gym in them, so that maybe during your lunch break you want to go work out for like 30-45 minutes, you can do that. So I think I kind of like that here. I know some organizations also back in Nigeria, you know, emulate this, where they have team bonding and activities and all of that. I'm just saying I love it better here, okay? So the next thing I wanted to talk about is how teamwork is valued here. This one, guys, this particular one, I struggled with it because I was someone who really liked to, maybe not like work alone, but I enjoy thinking on my own, thinking alone, doing things on my own. So coming here knowing that they value teamwork a lot, like even if you are given a task, you need to at least maybe ask for help from one or two people. It also just, it doesn't, so everyone is not an island. You're not saying, oh, I'm holding on. As a matter of fact, I've worked with people who do not like it, like they frown out someone holding on to all the information. They want you to share, and I know that happens a lot in Nigeria. People have access to things and they just hold it there to themselves. They don't want to share that information. I like how here teamwork is valued a lot. You need to be ready to work as a team. Even someone that is on your team too can reach out to you and say, oh, I have this task, I would like you to help. I think I like that fact about teamwork here in Canada. Please, I hope you're enjoying this video. If you're enjoying this video, please let me know in the comment section. Type it. What is your situation where you are? Are you in Canada? Are there other things that makes you enjoy your workplace compared to the country you're coming from? And if there's something that is different, maybe something that applies to where you're coming from that it's not here, I want to read all about it in the comment section. I'm sure other people also want to read about it. So just like as an addendum, another thing I want to add is how I think I already talked about it, is how soft skills is very valuable here. Soft skills is very valuable. I cannot overemphasize this. Soft skills is very valuable, especially communication skills. Yes. Now, what do I mean about that? I'm just quickly going to talk about this, tell a story before I elaborate on this. I remember someone telling me a story. Now, this is a true story about how at his place of work is doing really well. Like if they give him a job, he meets the target, he's right on on point, he's doing everything as it's supposed to be. Everything they give him is giving them back. Everything is giving what he should give, right? Let me talk like the Gen Zs. But then there was one fault in him, despite all of his skills. Guess what the fault is? You guys cannot get this. It's because it doesn't what's the word now? It doesn't mingle. Let me use that word. They said he doesn't mingle. He doesn't talk to his colleagues. So he's someone that will just come into the office, greet everyone, hello, good morning, hi. He does his work. When it's time to go home, he packs his bag and go home. That is a problem here. That's a major problem. Why? Because people here love small talk. They love pep talk and all of that. That actually impacted his performance evaluation. Yes, you will assume that how is that supposed to affect someone's performance evaluation? Well, that is what happens here. So his boss who likes him told him, see, just every 2 days in a week, or even if you can spare 5 minutes in a day, just talk to them, ask questions, just strike a conversation with them. So he decided to do that every once in a while. He would knock on this, hi, hello, how are you, how is your dog, how is your cat, or if they have one, right? just to spark that conversation. And a few performance evaluation after, he actually did well. He went up higher in his performance evaluation. I hope you guys get the gist there. So even for him, he said he's someone who doesn't really likes to, even for me, someone I love to have my lunch on my own and all of that. But here they like the pep talk, they like the conversations, they like the small talk. So if you're someone who doesn't like to talk, you're someone who keeps to yourself, well, you might want to reconsider that, because that's some of those things that people value here. They want you to speak. And there's something people will always say: if you do not know what to talk about, if you do not know what to say, just ask about the weather, talk about the weather. Even though you've not been outside, though, you've not checked what the weather is like, just check your phone. Today's weather is, oh wow, look at the weather today, hey. I think that's how they talk. Hey, the weather today, hey. Just talk about the weather, talk about something, so that you can have that conversation going. It's better than you just keeping quiet and keeping to yourself. I hope you guys are getting me. I hope you guys understand all of what I've been saying. In general, if I'm going to rate the Canadian workplace versus the Nigerian workplace, I know now, I don't know what scale to use to rate. Maybe I should not rate it that way. But if I'm going to compare which one I love the most, the Canadian versus the Nigerian workplace, of course, you guys, which one do you think I'm going to choose? I'll let you tell me in the comment section. After all what I've said, which one do you think I prefer? Okay, but one thing though that I miss about the Nigerian workplace is how you get some free time, you get time to flex sometimes, you get time to, don't say I said this so that my boss will not be watching. You get the time to flex sometimes, you get the time to get off your just do some other things at times. Well, all those flexibility is not very one of the things you're allowed here. Okay, and also, so in my next video, I'm going to be talking about what? Guess what I'm going to be talking about? Well, I won't let you guess. I'm going to be talking about some of the culture shocks. Yes, some of those things that hits me. Some of those things I experienced, I was like, what? Here in Canada, especially regarding the Canadian workplace. Okay, so if you like to see that video, if that's something you like to watch, please wait for my next video. Okay, if you've not liked this one, what are you waiting for? You should have liked from the beginning. Thank you so much. Please drop a comment in the comment section. I really would love to read from you. Share with friends. If you know anyone you think will benefit from this video, please share with them. And until I see you again in the next video, I say bye for now.